Hey guys, it's Amanda, and this is Random Talks with Amanda podcast. Today I'm gonna talk about a subject that's been a huge part of my journey, which is authenticity. And I know we hear this all the time, just be yourself, but it's easier said than done. I mean, we are programmed ever since we are kids to be anyone else but ourselves. The way that our parents raise us, their ideas and their thoughts about what we should do or should not do, what we should be or should not be, the schools, our friends, our acquaintances, the area we live in, religion, society, all of this impose their ideologies on us. And there's also, of course, television and social media and all these ads and publicity. Uh, Everyone who wants to sell you anything rely on you wanting to be someone else than who you already are. So we are programmed ever since we are kids not to be ourselves, no matter what people say. People will tell you, yeah, be who you are. But as soon as someone is who he is a little bit unique, maybe they get bullied, they get mocked, and they get so a hard time when they are just being themselves. And so it's really hard for a person to act like himself. And what's even harder is to know who he really is. Like, it's okay, just be who you are, but knowing who you are is really hard. It's a very complex process, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of work. For example, I'm gonna talk about myself here. I've always been trying to be someone else. I've always kind of hated myself, always trying to be someone else, always trying to be perfect or to be what everyone else wanted me to be, adjusting who I am according to the person who is in front of me. Just if that person wants a shy person, then I'm gonna be shy. If that person wants a confident person, I will try to be confident, but it won't work because I wasn't really confident, and it can show that I wasn't authentic, and people can sense that energy. They can sense when you are not being really who you are. So I was trying to be whatever that person wants me to be. Like, if they want me to stay quiet, I would stay quiet. For example, I tried my best not to do anything outside of the rules that my parents put on us. Every teenager go through a phase where they rebel and they go against their parents. I didn't really go through that phase. Of course, we had some misunderstandings with my parents, but I didn't really go through that phase. I was always trying to be at walking at a straight line, just like my parents wanted me to, not to make any much trouble, just to please my parents. And at school, always trying to be this perfect student, the one who also never make trouble at class, who always do their homeworks, trying to get the highest note, just always trying to be perfect. And with every, like, trying to be the perfect friend. If a person don't ask about me or don't take initiative, not everyone is gonna be your friend, but I try to be friends with everybody and just taking it my responsibility to hold that friendship and to keep holding on to the friendship and to keep working on it, when that other person maybe doesn't want to be my friend, and he has the right to, he doesn't have to be my friend. But yeah, I've been trying too hard to do whatever other people wanted, trying so hard to please everybody in order for me to be loved by them, in order to be accepted, in order not to be mocked maybe, or bullied, just, yeah, I'm gonna be super nice and super on the line, not trying not to make any mistake, trying not to say anything wrong, just so that nobody would come and judge me or say a negative comment. And of course, that's been very tiring and very exhausting, because nobody is perfect. And the more I tried not to make any mistakes, the more that I've lost true lessons. I wish I made mistakes earlier, and I wish I made more mistakes at that time, but I didn't, because right now when I look back, I haven't really learned what I learned right now. I haven't grown into the person that I am right now if it weren't for all the mistakes that I did. So trying all your life not to make any mistake is the biggest mistake you can actually do, and you can actually make. You gotta make mistakes to learn. It's a part of life, and it's a part of the process. It's a part of the journey, the part of growing up. So yeah, I've been my whole life trying to please everybody, and I've tried also not to say no to people. No matter what they ask, no matter what they wanted, I've always tried to, even if I don't want to do the things that they want me to do, I always say yes, because I was afraid to say no. But what I didn't realize is that every no that I don't say to other people, it's a no that I say to myself. And I've said a lot of no's to myself. And yeah, I had a lot of things to say, a lot of thoughts, but I never said anything because I was too afraid of being judged, and what if the other person doesn't like what I say, or doesn't agree, or yeah, I was just afraid to speak up. And I was always this shy, anxious, insecure girl. And at one point I thought that maybe that's who I am, maybe I should just accept that I will always be that shy girl that will never speak up, and I should accept and love myself like that. But there's always something deep inside of me that wouldn't accept that. It's like, no, you are not that girl. I've always wanted to be more brave, more confident, and to just be able to say the things that I want to say, and not to care too much about what people say and think of me. I've always wanted that, but no matter how hard I try, I couldn't reach it. So that's why I thought maybe I should just accept that this is how I'm gonna be. I'm just gonna be the shy girl. But like I said, there's always right inside of me, right at the core, is telling me, no, this is not who you are. There is something that wasn't adding up. I wasn't in line with my true self. And because I never really knew myself, and trying to find out who you are, it's so hard. You don't. I've studied psychology. For people who don't know, okay, I studied psychology for 5 years, and that helped a lot. Okay, but getting deep into psychology and getting deep into myself and a lot of workshops that I did, a lot of breath work, meditation, and just journaling, writing down my thoughts, sitting down with myself and my thoughts, trying to figure things out, and a lot of questions, especially with psychology, because it wasn't like these days. Like nowadays, it's easy to know more about psychology, and most people know a lot of things, But for me, I was this girl who lived her whole life in this little town, not knowing anything else outside of this little town and how this little town thinks, and the mentality, of the little town. And suddenly now I'm in college studying psychology, uh, and getting oh my god, I forgot the word. And I'm getting acquainted with a whole bunch of information that was so weird to me at first. It's like, what? And it wasn't like now, like I said, also there's social media, and people go through social media, and they know a lot about psychology, and they read books about it. There's a lot of posts and quotes and people talking about this stuff. But when I was at college, like the first time we had a phone, I was in high school, and there was only Facebook. There wasn't Instagram and TikTok or whatever. There was Facebook, and there wasn't a lot of these topics on Facebook. We just posted silly things. So yeah, there I didn't have any access to other mentalities and other thoughts, and other just anything that was different from the style of life that I had in that little town. So when I first started to study psychology, the first 2 years were super, super hard, because they really hit the bottom. Sometimes some things were heavy to know and heavy to accept, and sometimes we used to get out of the class and we used to cry. Like, this is how much heavy it was, not just on me, on most of us. We would literally cry after a certain class. So yeah, there was a lot of things to discover there, which I love. And then a lot of questions started to rise up, a lot of whys. Why is this like this? Why am I like this? Why the world is like this? Why other people act like this? A lot of why. Everything I do, everything I say, everything that happens around me, it's like I'm a little kid again, just like little kids discovering the world, and they touch everything and they want to know about everything, and everything they see, they ask like, why, and sometimes they ask you a question that you don't even know the answer for. And that's how we should continue to live life, just as little kids, always wondering why, because we never really know the whole answer. It's very complicated. and there's no one clear answer. But it's really important to search for the question, because maybe the answer isn't about arriving to a one simple truth or one fact, but it's about searching for that answer that's gonna make the journey interesting. So yeah, I started to ask a lot of questions about how things are, about people around me, about myself especially. Started to do a lot of inner work, and still it wasn't enough until I actually started to do things, not just knowing things and asking why. It's not until I started to do some things that I've always wanted to do that I tried to find my answers that are true to me. For example, I've always wanted to go to the gym. I always saw people who goes to the gym, and I said like, I would like to go to the gym. It's good for the health. It's good for the body. I want to go to the gym. And like my parents and my sister would tell me, you're gonna go to the gym for like 1 month and then get bored, and no, there's no use to the gym, and you want to do sports, just go for a walk, and you don't have to go to the gym to take care of your health and whatever. And for some time it's like, okay, fine, because I didn't work and I didn't have my own money, so I had to do what my parents tell me it's okay to do. So I didn't go to the gym, but that wasn't the truth. My parents' truth and my sister's experience and her own truth, which is like the gym is boring for her maybe, was not true for me. Because once I started working and I went to the gym, I found a love with going to the gym. And I just, now after more than 2 years, I still love the gym. And if you take that part from me, it's like you take a part from myself. If I don't have gym in my life, there's something missing in my life, and I'm not my true self. It's part of my identity. I love the gym and I love going and working out. It's different from working out from home. Sometimes, yeah, I have to maybe not go and work out from home, but going to the gym and actually be there, it's different, with the community and just the process of walking out of the house to go to the gym. And just the presence there and the ambience, just everything is, I love it. So that's an example of a lot of things. I'm very different from my parents and my sister specifically, and my brother, and most of my friends also. Especially my friends that were at that time, who were my friends at that time. Like my mindset is different from them. So if I had to keep rely on the truth that they tell me, or just being in my comfort zone, being too shy to go and explore something else, I would have never been true to myself. No matter what I say, like, okay, this is me, but I wouldn't have really been who I am, who I truly am, and who I want to be. And of course, at first, it's been very scary to test myself and to cross the limits, to cross everything that I have learned uh, in order to build my own limits and my own rules and my own truth. It's been very hard and long process. It's been difficult to endure too, and it's been very lonely because, like, who would understand? When you cross the limits, you feel like you don't have anyone to talk about this, to talk about what's lying behind the borders. with the people who are still inside the borders won't understand. So I felt really alone and going through this alone, but I'm really grateful that it happened that way, because it made me stronger and it made me who I am today. If I haven't crossed the limits, if I haven't explored, and I don't know, it's a long process. I can't pinpoint one thing or tell you that this is how it started, because a lot of things happen, and it's like the butterfly effect, just one little thing that happened maybe made a ripple and a big effect that is still going on to now, and the self-discovery journey is still going on, and it will always go on. It never ends. It's a never-ending journey, and that's how it should be. Once you stop working on yourself, and then I think you're dead. What's the point of life anymore? You always have to keep working, to evolve, to learn, to grow. That's what makes life what it is, and that's what makes life worth living. So now, finally, after years of hating myself and wanting to be someone else, and after years of the process of me trying to discover myself, discover what I really want and what I don't want, what I love, what I hate, and after many experiences, I finally am here right now with a kind of a clear idea of who I am, because like I said, the work is never over. But when I look at myself right now, I can actually say what I love and what I don't love. I have a clear idea of the things that are maybe, the things that I can't really live without, the things that are my priority. I can set my priorities straight. Like, this is my priority. This is something that I love. This is something that my life would be incomplete without. I would lose my sense of myself and of life if I lose this thing. For example, working out and going to the gym. And also my adventurous side. If I stay at home all day, if I can't go and explore the world and do something new and adventurous and something that elevates my adrenaline, then yeah, I don't feel like I'm truly alive. This is part of what I love and what I like. And maybe other people call me crazy, and I've been called crazy many times over this past 2 years, but I'm glad it is this way, and I'm really glad that I don't fucking care about what people think and what people say. They want to call me crazy? Fine. Yes, I am crazy, and I like being crazy, and it's who I am. I accepted that as a part of who I am. I love those little crazy moments. And now I am able to actually be authentic, to be myself, to do the things that I really want to do and I love to do, not doing things just because it's how it's supposed to be or it's what I'm supposed to do. No, I'm actually doing things from the bottom of my heart, and people can read that energy. It's something that got so clear to me now. I always like I said, I've always used to be this shy girl who had a hard time making friends and who didn't even maybe never initiated a conversation with anyone, and always feeling sad. But like, why can I make friends, especially after I've lost almost all of my friends one way or another, and then it became so hard for me to make new friends, and it's been something that's taking me years to actually move on from. But especially this summer and this past year, when I'm just being myself, I'm not afraid as before to put myself out there, to say silly things or to say that silly joke, or and just to be myself. And people actually started to be my friends. They can read that energy and they love that energy. And a lot of people started to love to hang out with me, not because I'm this super funny girl or this super beautiful girl, or someone who has a really great company, or a one of a kind. No, I'm totally normal, but I'm being authentic, and people love authenticity. Just like I love authenticity too, I can see someone and I instantly feel if I like being their friend or not, because, or I know if I want to get closer to them, get to know them more, or just keep them at a distance by reading their authenticity. You can tell if people are faking or being fake, or if they are being true. And that's really important. No one wants to be with someone who is fake. So yeah, authenticity is great, and authenticity is what is gonna bring you the self-confidence that you're asking for, and the friends that you were hoping to get, and the love that you were trying to get from being someone else. We do it the wrong way, in the opposite way. We think that we're gonna have to be someone else in order to be loved and to be accepted. But to actually be loved and accepted, all you have to do is be yourself. And like I said, we all know that that all you have to do is just be yourself, and the right people will find you and will love you just as who you are. But yeah, the real struggle is to actually know who you are, and then being who you are will just come naturally. After you find out who you really are, acting like yourself will just come naturally, because, well, now I know I love this, so I can't pretend that I don't. So yeah, the most work lies in actually knowing yourself, and then have the courage, just a little bit of courage, to start acting the way that you really are, in an authentic way. And just that one moment of courage will bring other moments and will create also a ripple and a butterfly effect, and eventually you will be yourself always, without any effort and without even thinking about it. And like I said, people all around will actually notice, and maybe not all of them will love you for who you are or accept you, but you are definitely gonna be loved and accepted and respected by many people. So I hope if you heard me so far, I hope that this podcast inspires you to not just to sit with yourself today. It's important to sit with yourself, take a moment, sit with yourself, see where is the most part that you are struggling with, what is holding you back from being who you are, what do you think isn't really aligned with who you are, what kind of ideas or thoughts or ideologies or rules that you think doesn't really align with who you are, rules maybe that society has put on you, or rules that you have put on yourself, and limitations that you have put for yourself. Sometimes we put this on ourselves, like, oh, I can't do this. Like, who told you can't do this? Did you try? So just take a look to all your limitations, have a clear vision of them, and ask yourself, what are the limits that you are putting to yourself, and what are the limits that aren't really aligned, aren't helping you. And ask yourself, do you really know yourself? Do you really, really know yourself? Do you really know what you love, what you hate, what you value, what you want from life? What is the most important thing in this life for you? Your fears, your insecurities, your dreams, your goals, your passion. Do you know all of this about yourself? If not, it's really important to start questioning everything that you know. And then also, heck, maybe have a list of the things that you want to do, things maybe you always wanted to try or you always wanted to do but never really get to it, maybe because you thought you couldn't, or maybe because of financial problems, physical problems, I don't know, whatever reason that made you not to pursue a goal or to do something. And then I wanted to choose an item and to work on it. Maybe you've always wanted and start by little things. Like I said, little things create an effect, and that's gonna lead you to bigger things. Little things matter the most, because we always want to start big and we feel like, oh my god, we couldn't reach that big goal. But start little, start with a little goal, and then step by step you're gonna see yourself reaching beyond what you ever imagined. So choose a little thing that you want to do. Choose, maybe you always wanted to, for example, for me, I always wanted to do paragliding, and so I put money on the side to do that, and I did that. It could be anything, any goal, visiting a new coffee shop or trying a new food on the menu, but you still haven't gotten to that. Do that and see if you really like that or not. And maybe you've always wanted to learn a new language. For me, I always wanted to learn a new language, and I've always thought that, I wanted to even learn multiple languages. But as soon as I started to learn a little bit, I felt like, nah, I don't really want this, I don't like this. And it's okay. I finally know that I can put that aside now. It's not my priority. I've always used to think about it non-stop, thinking, I wish I knew more languages. I wish I knew more languages. And being so hard on myself for not even learning and starting to learn. But once I started to learn and thought, I don't really want to know this language. I didn't like it. I didn't like the process, and I didn't have like, okay, so what? It doesn't serve me in any way if I learn that other language or not. It's not going to change anything in my life. It's not like there's a goal for me where I only reach if I learn this language. No. So I stopped learning another language, and I've started focusing on other things that mean more to me and that they are more important to me and how I want my life to be and where I see myself. So start by doing little things. Start by doing something that you've always wanted to do. And once you start to do it, you're gonna realize if this is really something that you want to do or not. If this is something that you want to do, then starting is great. It's what you need, and little by little, step by step, you will reach far. And if it's not something that you want to continue, you will be able to move on to something else. And you can remove it from your list instead of always being stuck on your mind. And that's how you discover yourself, and that's how you discover the things that you love and you don't love. You discover what's important to you, just by starting. And so I hope this podcast really inspires you to try and just start with one thing and start with little things. And I hope you embark on your self-discovery journey. It's the most important journey of your life, because trust me, a lot of people can go through their whole lives without really knowing who they are and without being authentic or without being or achieving their true potential. And we see these people all the time in our lives. I'm sure you do. So just start this journey, and don't be discouraged by the work that it has to be done. Trust me, it's worth it. And if you haven't already, I hope when you do really know yourself and you start to be yourself, I hope you always have the courage to remain and to keep that spirit in a world that may always tell you to be yourself, but is constantly showing you not to be, or hoping that you won't be. I really hope that you will be bigger than that, bigger than all of the problems and all the difficulties, which I'm sure you are, and always, always be authentic and true to who you really are at the core. And may the work never stops and never ends. It's what gives life meaning. Thank you for your time and for listening, and take care.